Hi everyone, welcome to this month's discussion, blog, whatever you'd like to call it, video post. I've been putting this off because I've had a few distractions like Commonwealth Games, and then yesterday we had Anzac Day, and I've been wanting to take advantage of the energy of the new moon in Aries, which actually happened last week. So I'm also working on changing the format of my newsletter. And if you don't receive my newsletter, please message me and I'll put you on the list, on the mailing list. So we're dealing with the new energy of the new moon in Aries. So it was a great time to start new projects, which I did, and I hope that you have done the same. We're also dealing with the effects of Pluto and in Capricorn and Uranus in Aries. Now, this is not new energy, but every now and then it seems to be quite manifest in what's going on outside. So let me explain. Pluto is the planet of transformation, and it's been in the sign of Capricorn, which represents governments, large organizations, anything that's quite powerful and directive in your life. And Pluto's been wanting to transform the energy that's there. Pluto's heavy energy. It makes things difficult to work. It's difficult to work against Pluto energy. Now, it's being challenged by the energy of Uranus in Aries. Uranus is the planet of new surprises, technology, computers, IT of any sort, new technology in anything. And it's in the sign of Aries, which is the pioneering energy. So new initiatives, new ideas, new drives, let's just do it, says Aries, and think about the consequences afterwards. So, for example, I've seen with the Commonwealth Games, they've had an amazing organisation direct what's going to happen and how it happens. But if you haven't seen the publicity about what's happened, you may have missed that they actually didn't do as good a job as perhaps they would have liked. And they have made many people in the public arena very upset. And the public has the opportunity through Uranus, technology, Facebook, social media, in Aries, let's just do it now, to complain and say, well, you know, your transportation wasn't as good as you thought it would be. The closing ceremony, well, where were the athletes? This was all about the athletes. It wasn't about the entertainment, good as it might have been. And there are other examples in our community where Pluto and Uranus are clashing. And I question you, who are you working with? Are you working with a large organisation which doesn't want to change its ways and is quite convinced they're in the right all the time? Or are you of the Aries, the Uranus in Aries camp, which says, I don't like the way things are, I want to change, and I'm not going to go along with what you tell me what to do. So there's a bit of conversation about that in the post. I also talk a little bit about supplements. It's in now nearly May, so we're moving into autumn and a time when we naturally withdraw our energies. And it's also a time when we have to consider more carefully our bodies. We may eat well and we have access to the most amazing fruit and vegetables in this country. But you know what? The nutrition that's available through our fresh food and vegetables is not always enough to help our bodies thrive. We can survive and we're fine, but we can thrive if we add a little extra nutrients in the form of multivitamins, good quality multivitamins. Another last thing I wanted to mention in this little conversation is about yoga. I went to the Yoga Australia conference in Melbourne in March and was delighted to meet up with many yoga teachers from all over Australia, teaching all sorts of styles of yoga. And one of the conversations that was quite prominent was about how yoga has changed over the years. And what came to us as yoga 20, 30 years ago has been manipulated by commercial interests and others into something that is that looks like yoga, but it's not the same. So you may be doing yoga and you maybe think you're doing yoga, and if that's working for you, that's fabulous, because yoga is taught in gyms. Now, gyms are notorious for exercise programs, and again, that's great. But question the qualifications and the experience of the instructor. They may well have just done a 6-week intensive training course. How can they learn the wisdom that is inherent in the word yoga, which is marrying together the wisdom of the body and the mind and the soul, and a huge tradition of esoteric learning? How can you learn that in 6 weeks? But then again, it may actually suit you just to go for an exercise program, and that's fantastic. But the yoga that I teach is more aligned with the initial intent of the yoga tradition, which is to really work with the body and the mind and the soul so that we can be the best we can be, and we can show other people by example. And by being the best we can be, we can also then allow the energy of the soul, which is what has given us life in the first place. We can allow the energy of the soul to manifest in our lives and really live out what we're here on earth to do, because each of us has a different role. And just because I'm not the same path as you doesn't mean to say I'm on the wrong path. So when you're considering the yoga that you do, think about what it is you really wish to achieve with the yoga that you're doing. Enjoy the read. Until next time, have a fabulous month, and I will talk to you again in May. And I promise to be a bit earlier in May. Bye for now.